Hello everyone, I am Plankera, and today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from left to nowhere. We're almost done with the meshes. I have pretty much all the scary ones done and just a few layers left to go. So, I think I should be able to finish the meshing today, unless doing the scrap mesh group just goes very, very horribly. I'm not quite sure what to expect there, but I don't expect it to go too bad. I don't plan to make anything too detailed, I just want something simple to kind of help me with perspective. It's like, in the past, a lot of the time I would just use a basic, like, grid mesh, but I want to try something a little bit more specific for this particular model. Just trying some things. Because mesh groups are not something that I understand quite as well as I want to, so... Because this is an open source software that doesn't... It has a decent sized community, but it's not as big as, like, you know, Live2Ds or a lot of those kinds of things. The tutorials on it are still fairly limited. So this is me just trying things out and seeing what works. Like, overall, I'm pretty confident in my meshes here, but, I'm just not quite sure how all the mesh groups work still. That's the only thing. Honestly, this layer probably doesn't even need a mesh, but it's in the upper half of the body, so... Well, it's not quite the upper half of the body, it's like right on the cusp. But I'll give it a little one. Well, I guess this is a bit more than a little one, but a mid-sized one. It'll get a mid-tier one. I'm not gonna follow, like, all the contours and stuff, but I can do this much. Like, man, I look at all the little details I had to cut, and it just... reminds me that even though Shalom's character design is very simple, it's very pretty. It works very well for her, I think. It's one thing I struggle with a lot of my character designs. I look at it and I'm just like, I know I have a taste for minimalism, but is this really enough? And it feels nice when I see characters designed like this, and I'm like, yeah, I really like characters like this. I don't have to add 50 million belts or a lot of random details that mean nothing in order to make a nice character design. They can just look modern, elegant, and pretty. I think that's a pretty good way to describe Shalom's character design. Modern, elegant, and pretty. It only does a couple of kind of weird things, like in her hair especially. The two-toned nature of it. I guess that's fine. Do want that going that way, though. Okie dokie. So I think, if I recall correctly, I made most of this symmetrical. So I can just mesh it out like this. This is one that I don't expect to be deforming too much. Maybe a little bit around the corner there, but for the most part, it's a high-waisted skirt, so it looks like it's fairly tight right around the middle, which is what this area is. Just adjusting the spacing a little bit here. They were a little bit too close in some areas, a little too far apart in some areas, so the best way to deal with that is, you know, just move them. Move them to where they belong. Yeah, did it again here. Just move them over a little. There we go. And then there's this little seam at the top that I definitely want to put some triangles around. But I think that's the only thing in the interior that I really care about. I tried to have the triangles at the bottom here adjusted to handle that. It looks like they just need a little bit more adjustment. Just a little bit. There we go. And then I can go around the outside, and that'll be this one done too. That's why I said I was pretty sure I could get it done today, just because there's not very much left to do. Only one layer kind of scares me, and I don't even think that it'll be that bad compared to some of the other ones. And the rest are just small, below the waist, and easy. Being below the waist is also important here, given that most VTubers rarely show below the waist. I'd say most of the time they're only showing like the bust and above, but I've seen some that show their model from the waist and above. Alright. So I'd say this is one of the 3 layers that is maybe a little bit concerning. The other 2 being the one on the other side that looks like this, and the mesh group of the skirt. So it's like this is below the waist, so it's not that big a deal, but it looks so floofy and fun to move around that I want to be able to do that. So we gotta make it nice. Definitely gotta make it nice, so I can make it go swish, swish, and have some fun. Like, look, when you're dealing with something as intricate and detail-orientated as rigging, you gotta do stuff. That's just fun. I think this is true of most creative hobbies, but I think it's especially true here. Just because half of the fun for rigging for me is the results, and just being able to grab the model and swish it around and watch everything move. It's so much fun. Like, Inochi2D doesn't have the physics window like Live2D does. It has that nice little box for testing out all your physics and stuff. So we can't quite do it the same way, but we can get pretty close. And it's a good time. Such a good time. There we go. Alright, I think I'm gonna do the inside before the outside today. For no particular reason. It's like I don't need a reason. I can just go do it. I think I'm just thinking of all the swishing I can do in my head. because I am really looking forward to doing all the physics and making everything just come alive. I did not get these very close to the edge, did I? Let's push them over a little bit more. I don't blame myself, it's a bit hard to see. This is where the background color is starting to become a very similar color to the actual art here. Okay, but I think that's good. I'm just blending in. A little bit too much for me to be able to see properly. So now I'm going to outline this dark area. And after that, I'll just be able to handle... I'm not quite sure I'm going to handle all these frills. It's like I didn't really cut it for a lot of extreme frill movement. It's because it didn't look like that kind of thing. Like, these don't look like genuine frills, they just look like tight pleats. I don't think it made sense to cut out each individual one. Like, if you want to do really hardcore frill physics, that's what you gotta do. You gotta cut out each individual pleat, but it's just not what it looked like to me. Even when I looked at her art in-game, I have my Shalom P3, so I'm able to see the Live2D animated version in-game itself, and it wasn't swishing around that hard, despite the strong wind in that art. Though it just didn't seem to make sense to cut it out for some extreme swish. We can go for some mild swish. God, all of these triangles are going the wrong way. Why you gotta be like this? Seriously, it's every single one. I'm gonna have to fix that entire line. Sigh. Oh well. I'll be fine. Alright, let's get this little gray area in here. And then I can start paying attention to exactly how I want to divide up all these frills here. They're pretty small. So I may not have to do too much. Yeah, I think they're too small for me to be able to do too much. But I'd like to get a couple of lines down there, just to break them up a little and make it so I can make them a little bit more wiggly. And then, yeah, they kind of expand out near the bottom here, so I should start from the bottom, I think. This one's pretty big, so I'll start with this one. Just put the triangles all around it and see what happens. I'm not quite sure what to expect as it goes higher up. Yeah, you can already see it's starting to clump together. But I can still follow where this one's going, so I think it'll be okay. This little one right through here. Just gotta keep my eyes on him because I swear if I look away I'm gonna lose it. There we go, and I think there's room for a couple more. We'll do one for this one too. The one that's kind of hiding in the shadows here. I think this one will have to... won't be able to go all the way up like the last one did. I think it's gonna run into the vertices of the last one. Yeah, you can see it's already starting to get there. I think that's about where that goes. And I think I want to do another set for this one. This little light area down here. Fortunately, the bottom part is the part that's swishy, so I am not as particular about the top part. But I can already tell that fixing all these triangles is going to be a bit of a nightmare. It's like, man, am I going to remember what me of 30 seconds ago was thinking? Jesus Christ. Okay, let's do the outside. Yeah, none of these wanted to go the right direction. None of them. My suffering is eternal. That's okay. I'll fix it all up. I'll fix it up. It's all good. But now I can't see. I'm getting all the pixels in, right? Yeah, I am. The colors are very, very similar. And now I'm out of that area and I can see again. Feels very nice. Man, what the heck am I even looking at here? I'm just looking on the inside. Things got a little bit messy. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to clean that up as effectively as I would want, but it should allow me to do what I want to do, so I hope. I hope it's all good. But honestly, I've seen some kind of messy meshes like this in the past, and it's worked out. As long as they're following the right areas. Come on. It works out. I'm scared to do the inside, so I'm just gonna do the outer part and pretend like the inner part doesn't exist for a little while. Psych myself up for it. I'm sure it'll be fine, but my brain doesn't believe me. Just looking at it and doing the whole internal screaming thing. Alright, let's go. Can't procrastinate anymore, brain. It's time to go. Fix all the triangles. Like, all of them. Because they're all wrong. None of them wanted to cooperate with you today. It happens sometimes. What can you do? was gonna say, this side seemed to be doing a little bit better, and then I got here, and it's like, oh. Yes. There were problems here, too. Okay. Now I have to pay attention again. Because I know that there's a whole ton. I felt like when I was going through it all that none of them were going the right way. Is this actually right? I think this is supposed to just go around here, so I do think that this is right. Let's just find a line that I can follow. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, I see a couple of lines that I can follow here. So that should help me pick out where the right triangles are. I don't blame myself for being terrified of this. This is, quite something. I don't think I've ever made a mesh where it was quite this bad. It's like normally I have to fix a few, but this is... It legitimately is most of them. Here we are. Okay, but now that row's good, so I'm gonna go do the next one now. I can kind of see where these triangles are going. I just kind of need an anchoring point. Anchor, anchor, anchor. Yep. So, I think I've got a good point to go on now. I can kind of see where the lines are supposed to go. Just took me a sec. Then you get a lot going the wrong way. It really can just look like such a mess until you figure it out. Okay, but now I think it's good. It's probably supposed to go this way. Yeah. Which does mean this is probably supposed to go that way. I wasn't sure about that one, so that's why I didn't change it the first time. But no, this seems right. Alright. Let's do the next set. Looks like it cooperated reasonably well through here at least. Okay, here we are. This is where it starts changing up. I start getting a bunch of triangles going the wrong way. Okay, what's going on here? I don't think this is supposed to connect over here. So I guess it just goes into this. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. And slowly but surely, I'm getting through it. Oops. Let's see, does this go here? I don't think so. I think it probably just ends right there. I do hope the one on the other side cooperates a little bit better, because this is tricky. I somehow missed one on the outer edge. That's fine. I caught him in the end. Okay. I think I'm gonna call that good. Let's see if the other side is a little bit kinder to me. See, that one wasn't bad at all. It's like I did a few before that one, and it's only been 30 minutes. I'm chugging. I'm kind of determined to finish out the meshing today, because I'm sick of working on it. The dots are haunting my dreams. It's alright. You gotta have a degree of patience for this. No real way around it. That's why I said, especially for something like this, you gotta do things to keep yourself sane, because I do feel like with rigging, the highs are very high, but there's a lot more tedious parts to it than there is with pretty much any other creative pursuit I've ever done. But oh man, when it starts moving, it's very special. I like it a lot. Fortunately, this area is a lot smaller than a lot of the more detailed meshes I've been having to do lately. Like, it's not the size of the skirt, it's not the size of the coat. It's just this little tiny area. Little tiny flap. Alright. This time I'm gonna do the outside first, so maybe I have a higher odds of remembering what I was doing when I go to do the inside. This time I have a reason for choosing this, instead of just deciding arbitrarily. Does happen sometimes. Alright. I'd say so far, things are going pretty well. Today, my husband and I had a bunch of fun doing a bunch of achievements in Factorio, some of the dumb ones. Like we, finally got the ones for the red and blue circuit production. So we were able to just kind of run around and do some dumb things. We set a bunch of trees on fire. So that was a good time. Got a bunch of energy shields and stood in front of a train. You know, those ones. And now we're starting to do more space production, so we can start launching satellites into space and get enough research to make it so we can carry 100 little drones around us. That'll be a good time. I have to admit, it was kind of fun. Just joy riding around the world with the flamethrower and lighting a bunch of trees on fire. I don't think you even have to play Factorio to understand the simple joy from that. Set a bunch of the giant bugs on fire too. It's especially funny because there's this one forest that we always had to walk around to get to our colonies. We're trying to avoid destroying too many trees to kind of help curb pollution. But at least at the time when we were building that first colony, now we've gotten strong enough that we don't really care. But We don't have to walk around that forest anymore. Never again. But we have to walk around that forest. There is no forest anymore. That's why we picked that one. Because it was big and we kept having to walk around it and it was annoying. Especially since we're... our movement speed is fast enough now that we didn't jump into the tank to go places anymore. We just ran. So... at least in the tank you can just kind of run over trees, but when you're running around, not much you can do. You get stuck on trees. It's very unfortunate. Alright. There's one row done. Yeah, this one's looking like it's gonna be a bit simpler. Let's see, I think I want to do it from the bottom. I think having 2 rows for this might be excessive. So I'm just gonna go put them on the inside of this dark area right here. And he'll just come right up here. I think I'm gonna fill in this area before I move on. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Now I can keep going up and just fill in that gray area that kind of merges into. It begins. But I think that's as far up as that one has to go. I'm gonna go jump to this side now, because the path here is a little bit more clear than it is on the other side. I think I have to do something like that for this side. Don't want things to be getting caught in the corner. There's this, just the long gray area up here. Give me just a moment. Neck locked up a little bit, needed to stretch it. But now it's much better. Probably just need to give myself a little neck massage after stream. And then everything will be fine again. But that's enough to hold me over until then. Alright. So now this next gray area is pretty big on the bottom side here, isn't it? Yeah. I think I'm gonna need a little bit of help through there. But I think I can just do normal triangles the rest of the way up. It's not that big. Yeah, this looks just fine. And it does look like this side is cooperating a little bit more with me than the other side. So that's nice. There's a few triangles going the wrong way, but not nearly as many. It's not like all of them this time. Only a few uppity ones that need to be put back into place. Alright. I appear to have missed a dot in there. Yep, there we go. Now I'll go ahead and surround this light spot. And there probably won't be too many more to do after that. I think this dark spot is gonna outline itself at this rate, so... just by virtue of me getting everything else around it. That's just kind of how it works out sometimes, you know? You do everything else, and then the other part is just kind of done. Yeah, and then that's... I guess I'll finish it off. Just to get the triangles neat. Here we go. Now I can just kinda do the last little bits through here. Okay, some of those triangles aren't cooperating, so now I have to think. I think it goes like this. And this goes like this. Okay, yep, this seems correct. So I'm really only paying attention to the triangles on this side right now. Just because I think I am going to need a few on the other side. In order to make this all work. Probably do need some through here. It's like it's thin enough up at the top that I think that it doesn't need to go like all the way, but it should definitely go part of the way. There, and that should be fine. It's just... oh boy, getting kind of messy. And from there that should be okay. And now this is where I just kind of pray that everything kind of connects okay. And I don't have to cry. Always nice when you don't have to cry, you know? That's probably about the best I can do there. Okay, time to go fix all the triangles. It's like, just when I was complimenting it on, not making me work very hard. I got some tight areas through there where I'm gonna have to work kind of hard. It's alright. The outer triangulator is doing its best. Okay. So for the most part, the triangles were good here, but I know I definitely need to go around. Probably multiple times. If I tried to keep track of too many lines all at once, I tend to just kind of forget stuff. Or miss stuff, kind of gloss over it. I'm just trying to take too much information in at once. So I'll just take it slow. It's alright, even if I am determined to finish all the meshes today, I've still got plenty of time. Don't gotta rush and end up causing more work for myself in the long run. Okay, but I think I see how this is trying to go. I'm not entirely sure what me of 5 minutes ago was thinking with some of this, but it's not the worst. Lots of shenanigans like this, though. Yep, those are some shenanigans. I know I technically scrolled past a few that needed to be fixed up there, but I'm trying to avoid keeping track of too many at once here. Okay, this all seems fine. Just because it's a lot. A lot of the time I just kind of fix them whenever I see them, but here I'm trying to be very careful about where I track. Just so I don't gloss over anything within those rows. Just follow the lines that I'm currently working on. Because otherwise they're pretty easy to lose. Okay, yeah, this was the area where I was like, okay, if I try to fix anything outside of the area that I'm currently looking, I am just going to lose the direction here. I don't even know what this vertex is doing. Go away. Okay, but otherwise... No, I think this is okay. I think it might have originally have been meant to go across there, but I don't think it actually needs to. Okay, I think we're good. 2 of 3 hard layers left. Or done, excuse me. 1 of 3 left. Okay. And here, I can just turn the triangles on now. Make it nice across here. Because I don't think I need anything in the interior. Here's a little bit of a gradation, but I think this is fine. Okay, there we go. Triangles were not straight, and it was messing some things up. Oh, I did it over here too. Let's straighten all these triangles. There we go, that's a bit better. I think this side just needs another one. Okay. See, this one's nice and quick. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. I'll figure out how to do down there in a second. I believe in you. Me of 30 seconds from now. I thought I could just kind of make it easy and go down like that, but maybe there's going to be some issues. I might just need to line this properly. Not be lazy. Yeah, looks like that's what I gotta do. But that's okay. That's not too bad. It didn't take very long, as you saw. Still was able to keep it pretty simple. There's only a few triangles. Not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There we go. I go ahead and send this one up too, just because I think it looks better. But I think that's all I need to fix there. One more. This one has a little bit of stuff going on in the interior, so I might do a little bit more work there than I did on the last one, which was basically just a solid gradient. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on the lines so I can very easily work my way across here. I think I'll just do it like this. Yeah. I think anything more would be more complicated than it needs to be. Sometimes you just gotta keep things simple. Words from a minimalist artist. I'll add one little bit through here just because some of the lines in there needed to be kind of grouped up if I didn't want things to be crunchy later. Crunchy probably the best way to describe it. Things would move a bit strange at the bottom if it didn't have these things kind of gathering up all the vertices like that. So now we can just go around. And then there's one more skirt layer. And that'll be it. And honestly for that I am just considering using a grid for my experiment. I have one up in the hair with a very detailed mesh group. Then I have one in the shirt with just a fairly basic symmetrical one. And now maybe I'll try just a grid for the skirt. So that's what I was doing before, just to kind of help me with perspective. And pushing things around like that. So I can try each of the 3 different types that I know of and see how they all perform. Yeah. That sounds good. Definitely not just being lazy. But in all seriousness, I do kind of actually want to see how they compare to each other. Okay, looks good. Alright. So I'm gonna keep this fairly simple. We're just gonna grab a big old grid. Pull it around like this. Make sure I got the whole thing in there. There we go. Put the middle around her knees, and then add a few more rows around important landmarks. That's how I tend to do these kinds of ones. And that should be fine. I want one on like the edge of her hips here. And on the zippers. And that should be good. Alrighty. Skirt done. Let's do feet. This I want to be able to have flip around a little bit, so I'll at least make it at least relatively fine. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have another one up there. Yeah, that should be good. Just need something like that in there to kind of help it out. There we go. And now for the outside. Brain farting for a second here. What am I doing? Between these two, right? No, this one's on this side. So this is between these two, and this is between these two. Okay. There we go. Sometimes it can get a little tricky when they're that close together. But I do believe that this is correct. And there we go. Just gotta clean it up now. That's good. And then that needs to be fixed. But for the most part, the triangles cooperated. I think there's only a couple that I need to fix here. Like this guy. And this guy. It looks like one more. Is that it? Yep, that's it. This is just gonna be, well, do I want to be able to spin it a little? No, I think I'm just gonna rotate him around a bit. I think this is actually fine. So, we'll leave it like that. Let's do this one. And for some of these layers, if I end up actually needing meshes for them, I can go back and fix that later. But I really doubt that I will need a mesh for that triangle there. I think it's mostly just gonna rotate. Maybe do a little bit of perspective, and I think that might actually be easier with the square. The default square. This is gonna need a little bit in between, so I guess it doesn't matter. Try to just adjust triangles on both sides to make sure that they're both nice while it goes around this. Just make sure everything lines up nicely. Okay, that should be good. Make sure I have some nice triangles through here. There we go. Oh, fairly simple one here. Just going all the way around. Oh, this is just endless circle time. I go round and around the art. Round and round and round. There we go. And we're almost there. Fortunately, it's pretty small. And this level of triangle should let me move things around pretty well. Make it go flippy. Just be super flexible. Have some fun with physics. All that good stuff. It's like I can tell there's one here, but I'm not quite sure where it's hiding. There it is. I found it. Let's see, triangle's a little crooked on the outside here. Until I'm rushing just a little bit maybe, but it's okay. It's hard for me not to get a little impatient when I know the meshes down here just aren't quite as important. Okay. So here I want larger triangles than what I've been using. Just because this isn't going to be a super flexible cloth kind of thing. This is a stiff, rigid shoe. But I still do want them at pretty key locations. I don't expect to do much foot movement at all. At most, I might point the toes in certain directions. But I don't want to spend too much time with this mesh. It's like if I was really particular, just because it is fairly detailed. I could definitely spend a long time on this. But I don't think that's necessary. Just gonna follow the important points, which in this case is gonna be around the toes. And the sole of the shoe here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, there we go. And kind of around the underside here. And going up the middle like that. I think this should let me do everything I want to do with the toes there. I think this I can do, this highlight, I can do like it's a 3-row structure. Yeah. And it goes out a little at the bottom. Okay, and I think that's all I care about. So that should do everything I want. And more, depending on how much foot movement I decide to go with. It's entirely possible that I just don't move them at all. I have not completely decided. Probably just depends on how much more I want to be doing once I get to that point. Or if by the time I'm finishing body XY, I'm just ready to move on to the next thing. Who knows? Rigging is one of those things where if you're not careful, I'm pretty sure you can just work on the same model forever. Just keep adding new cool things to it and all that. But I don't really want to be working on the same project forever. I mess up a triangle here. I did. Oh, that's alright. It's easy to fix. There we go. Oh, better. Hope that is correct. Oh, this is looking good. There we go. This probably doesn't need much of anything. Meshing it is probably optional, but I'll go ahead and give it a quick one. That's because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with her actual feet here. Okay, that should be plenty. Let's just go all the way around now. It is kind of funny to look at the layers in isolation sometimes, because I think if you just looked at this, no one would have any idea what this is supposed to be. It's almost impressively silly. I thought there were some excess lines. Oh, they went away. Nice. I actually don't have anything I need to fix. Awesome. Alright. Oh yeah, this part was weird. Kinda forgot about that. Last 2 layers, are you ready? I'm almost free. I can hardly believe it. And they're both pretty easy. This one being the harder one. Only because I don't plan to do too much to them. It's like I know walk cycles and stuff are all the rage right now, but I don't really have much desire to make one. It sounds like effort with not much payoff. Like anytime I watch a VTuber stream, I never really see anything more than just their head. No, I don't want to do it like this. Let's do the inside first. Just need to remind myself. Start at the edge. Work my way toward the center. It's easy. Start at the edge and work my way toward the center. So I'll go around her toe. Add some lines on this highlight. Help it move a little bit. And that's probably about all I need here. Just put some on the highlight to help it be cleaned up and all that good stuff. Okay. Now I can go around the outside. Make sure everything's all nice and ready. And I'm just like, oh man. I have a few lines I need to fix here. And I have another weird flesh layer. And that'll be it. That'll be the last one. Really am almost there. I'm almost free from meshing. Very excited. Tomorrow, we start movement. We start eye blinks. Finally get to see how everything actually moves. Okay. Let's clean this up. Got all the fire in me right now. No, this needs to be like that. There we go. Okay, yes. That is as it should be. And I think this is also as it should be. Yes. Does that go up there? I guess that actually makes more sense for it to be like that. Yeah, I think it makes a little bit more sense. Okay, there's another one down. Last one. Oh hey, this is one where I don't even have to care about the inside at all because it's a solid color. So I can use big parts. And not even care what's going on. Oh man, that means this is gonna be very quick. This is a nonsense layer, so that means I can kind of have a nonsense mesh. Hooray. Alright, and that is all of it. The meshing is complete. Hooray! I'm free! Which means tomorrow we start actually rigging and we start doing her face. Get all that important stuff done. But for today, I think this is where I will stop. Just let myself bask in the glory of all the meshes being done, and now I never have to touch another vertex again. So, well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative works, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.